Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to be making a short pencil skirt. So I'm going to take you along how I cut my pencil skirt. So I already folded this fabric into two. This is it here. I folded it into two, and this is the wrong side of the fabric. And then I marked about half an inch upward. This half an inch is going to serve as seam allowance, okay? And then the length of the skirt I'm working with is 26 inches. So because I'm going to need band at the upper side here, and the band is 1.5, so if I take 1.5 from 26 inches, I'll have 24.5, okay? So this is 1.5 I'm taking off. You need to place the 1.5 on above, below this half an inch seam allowance, okay? And I mark out the skirt length. So the skirt length is 26 inches. You can see the skirt length. Now I added 1.5 for seam allowance, okay? Half an inch is to turn this fabric with the lining, and the remaining 1 inch is going to fold inward like so. It will fold inward when I join it with the lining. So what that means is, since 1 inch is what will fold inward, that means when I'm cutting my lining, the lining is going to be 2 inches shorter than this skirt. So if you are adding 2 inches as what is going to fold over like so, then your fabric is going to be 4 inches, then your lining is going to be 4 inches shorter than your fabric. You'll be adding band like mine. Then you need to measure your band. You need to measure it upward. Your band allowance, you need your band measurement, you need to measure it upward. But if you are not adding band to it, just take the measurement straight from the waist. But because I'm adding band, so I need to take the band away from it, which is 1.5. Then from there I mark the waist to the hip, and the hip, and then from waist to the knee, and then from waist to the length of the skirt, okay? So what I will do now is to take the horizontal measurement. It is important you measure your knee measurement. You take in your knee measurement, because when you are taking the shaping, when you are shaping your hip to the knee also has to be shaped before you now take the measurement down to the length of the skirt. So the waist measurement I'm working with is 36 inches, and half of 36 inches is, quarter of 36 inches is 9. Then I'll need 1 inch for that allowance. Then I have 10 inches. Then plus 1.5 for seam allowance, I have 11.5. So I'll just mark the 11.5 here. The quarter of the hip is 10.5. Then plus 1.5 for side seam allowance, I have 12 inches. You are not adding that allowance to the hip, okay? So that's why I'm not adding any allowance there. You are not adding that to the hip. That is not going to extend to the hip though, so that's why I'm not adding that allowance to the hip. Now to the knee, I have 12 inches at the knee. So what I will do is just to take away 1 inch from the knee. If you don't want it too penciled, you can take away half an inch from your hip instead of 1. And if you still want it to be fitted, you can take 1.5 from your hip. But I'll just take 1 inches from the hip, which is going to give me 11 inches. So this is 11 inches. So I'll also mark the 11 inches to the length of the skirt. So I'll just mark the 11 inches here as well, and then I'm going to connect all the points together. So what I usually do here is just like what we normally do to our bustier. From the hip I'll come down by 1 inch, and then I'll go up by 1 inch. This is so when you are shaping it, you stop at 1 inch above when you are shaping it from the waist, you stop at 1 inch above your hip, and when you are shaping to the knee, you start from 1 inch below your hip, and then you blend this place. This is to avoid having pointed shape around your hip. So I'm just going to connect the lines together now. So I'll just mark it like so. And so the essence of marking your knee measurements is, if I don't mark the knee measurements now and I want to take this mark here to this place, I'll be left with excess. Can you see that this side you have excess at your knee area? The knee area won't be fitted. If I mark it like this now, I won't make it, you can see. So if I take the measurement from the hip to the bottom without measuring out the knee, I'll have excess around here. Okay, so that is why it is important you measure your knee measurement so that it can be tapered at the knee area. So I'm going to measure the waist now. So I'll also connect the waist measurement, and then once, can you see that this side already is blended, so you won't have any sharp shape around here. So the next thing I will do now is to take in the dart allowance. So the dart allowance is 4 inches. I'll just mark 4 inches here. And then what you can do is you can just go up by 2 inches or just use the standard. That is 4 inches, but because our measurement differs from each other, then you can just measure where your hip is and then go up 2 inches from your hip. Okay, so, and then I'm going to mark this. So the next thing to do is to take half an inch on both sides, although I'm not going to be cutting this off, but you need to take it so that you know where to notch. So this is the half an inch, and then you connect it back to the dart leg. So this is what the dart looks like. I'm just saying this is so easy to make. So what I will do now is to cut this out. So I'm going to be cutting this out right now. Dart leg, I'm going to notch it so that when I want to take the darts in, I will know where to measure from. So this is it. So I'm going to use this now to cut the back bodies. So this is the back bodies. I'm just placing it like this so that you can see what I'm doing properly. So I marked out 3 inches. Reason is that for the back, I want the back to have an overlap. I want it to have overlap at the back. You can decide to turn the overlap to, you can decide to use it as kissy pleats or a knife pleat, or even gather it together. So, but mine is going to be an overlap. I'm going to be creating a vent here. You can call it vent, which is going to overlap on each other. It helps to, to keep the tie covered in case you don't want your tie exposed. So it helps to keep it covered. So what I will do is so this is the 3 inches. So what I will do is to measure where I want the, remember that I said you have to take this this is the half an inch for the waist seam allowance, and then you take your 1.5 band upward. Now the knee measurement is 20 inches. Okay, the knee measurement is 20 inches. Now I'm not going to start from the knee. Okay, if I start the opening from the knee, it will be tight because we already tighten this side here, so it won't allow you to move freely. So what I will do is from the knee measurement, I will go up by 2 inches. Okay, you can go up by 3 inches if you want. So I will just go up by 2 inches, and this is 2 inches. This is 2 inches here, or I can just go up by 2.5 from here. So this is the 2.5 here. Can you see? Which means the slit is going to start from here and end here. Okay, so what I will do next is, what I'm going to do next is to now mark out the zipper allowance. So the zipper allowance is 1.5. Okay, it is from the 3 inches for the vent that you are going to be taking in your zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark out the zipper allowance. So when you are marking 3 inches or 2 inches for your skirt vent, know that your zipper allowance can be derived from it. So I'm just going to take the zipper allowance, and the zipper allowance is going to be stopping right here. Okay, so I'm done doing this. So this is what I have now. Now if you want to create pleats, if it is pleat you want to have at this side, or you want kissy pleats, there is no need of cutting this place open. Okay, but if you are making a vent, then you need to cut this place open so that it's easy for you. But if you are making a pleat, you know you are going to be pleating it together, so you don't need to open this place up. But what I want here is a vent. Now from this mark here, I'll come down by half an inch, which is already marked, and then I'll slant it down. I'm going to slant the half an inch down like so. Better still, just go like this. So I already slanted down, so I'll go ahead and cut this out. So there is not really much around here, so I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I'm going to slit this place open. So remember that we notched the back, the front for the darts. You're also going to notch the back as well for the darts. So guys, this is all about this skirt. You can see how easy it is to cut. You can cut it under 10 minutes. It does not take time at all. And then I'm going to cut out the lining. Remember I said my lining is going to be 2 inches shorter than this fabric, because 1 inch is what I'll be using to make this fold over to the lining. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. Now at the waist, after joining, taking your dart, then you measure what you have at the front dart, at the front waist, and then you use it to cut out the band. The same way for the back too, use it to cut out the band. You join it and then you stitch it on both sides. Or another way is you can just join the front and back waist together and measure what you have around, and then you stitch it all around. Okay, so guys, see how beautiful and neat the skirt is looking. So if you follow all the steps I showed us in this video, you definitely also have a nice looking skirt like this. So thanks for watching this video to the end, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in my next video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials, and also like and share this video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.